What is going on, guys? Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another daily video. Hope you're doing well. Let's get right into Prey, shall we? This is going to be my review of the game. Finally finished it. It's developed by Arcane Studios, who previous games are Dishonored and Dishonored 2, published by Bethesda. Finally finished the game. Put about 25 to 30 hours into my first playthrough. We'll talk about what I really enjoyed about the game, and also some of the things that held the game back from being truly, truly great. So the simple story setup is you play as Morgan Wu. He's a lead kind of scientist on the space station that is investigating this alien species known as the Typhoon. I'm going to try also to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, so you don't need to worry about story spoilers or anything like that. And most of the clips I've taken are from early on in the game. So the star of the game is Talos 1. I haven't felt this compelled to search around and explore every nook and cranny in an environment since Rapture, basically, in Bioshock 1. True star of this game, the space station the game takes place on. It is so finely detailed, from the lobby to Arbitrarium to the crew quarters to all the different places that you go in the game, that immediately sucked me right into the world of Prey. I loved going to each of the new areas and kind of searching around, going away from the main objectives, so I can find everything. I love that aspect of it. This is a huge world, a cohesive world that Arcane has built, and it is truly the star of Prey. Setting, the story is good, although not great, but truly, Talos 1 is the star. And I just loved searching around. It's probably why my playtime is 30 hours, and it's probably also one of the reasons why I never really had any problem finding anything, because or having a problem with ammo or medkits, because I was literally searching everywhere I possibly could. Now, the enemies you fight in this game are aliens, a combination of even some humans thrown in there. Now, the small ones you saw me fighting earlier were the basic ones called the mimics. They can take shape and hide, and they'll kind of surprise you. There are more human-sized mimics, or not mimics, typhoons. Those are called phantoms. They're really fast. They use their kinetic or psychic abilities against you. And then there's a few other different kinds of typhoons that I'll let you guys come across on your own. They're not exactly fun to fight at all, and we'll talk about one of the main reasons why this game kind of could have achieved greatness, but one of the reasons why it hasn't. Now, this game, if I had to compare it to something else, it'd basically be Bioshock and Deus Ex had a baby. Bioshock in the sense that you have this great place to explore, a lot of rich lore, a lot of interesting kind of characters to discover, right? And Deus Ex, they've taken the small combat mechanics of Deus Ex and combined them with the level building, right? So since this is kind of also an RPG and you can progress, get different skills. Story-wise, they call these things neuromods. You pick up a neuromod, you basically use it on yourself to become better. And there's different branches you could go down the tree. If you want to play the game,
that's exactly what Alex did. The question is,
as a hacker, for example, you can invest in that tree. If you want to play the game stealthy, you can invest in the stealth tree, which will give you abilities like being able to run without being able to be heard, or if you sneak attack an enemy, you'll do 250% damage. You can go down the tree of lifting things. I find hacking to be pretty useful, in my opinion, because you can hack all the terminals and doors. You can give yourself better health, similar to Deus Ex and other games, kind of like that. So you can kind of play how you want, and even later on you'll get an ability to scan your enemies that will show them their weak points, but then also allow you to use their powers. So at some point in the game you can invest in getting the Typhon powers, which will let you mimic a chair if you want to hide, or you can use a kinetic blast, or lift enemies up in the air, or a whole bunch of other things. There's a lot of different ways to go about this, because this game is truly an immersive sim. The freedom that the game gives you to complete objectives is, I'm not going to say mind-boggling, but it is very, very different from a lot of other games out there. This isn't a linear type of game. Although it does give you an objective to go towards, you're always free to kind of finish that objective how you want to see fit. Like I said, you can't get past this door lock. Well, you can invest in hacking and hack it open, or you could go around and survey the area and find a key card, or you can use your glue gun, which is an interesting gun, and kind of use that to parkour and get up into different areas you may not be able to get into, and sure enough, you could probably find some things of use. So it's very much an immersive sim. It's very much how you want to play the game. If you want to play the game run and gun, John Rambo style, you could, although the game isn't really suited for that. If you want to play stealth, you can. My point is, they give you the tools to play the game however you desire. Which is one of the reasons why I quite like it. Because Talos 1, like I said before, is the star of the game. There's a lot of things here that a lot of people are going to miss. And just like some of the older video games out there, you'll be doing a lot of reading. See, most of the story comes through audio logs that you pick up called transcribes throughout the game. They'll give you a backdrop of what people were doing on the station when the typhoon broke loose. They're also you'll get transcribes or audio logs from your self telling you what's going on, because your character is essentially mute. He's basically just, you are projecting yourself onto him. Which is kind of one of the more disappointing things, because I'm not a really big fan of mute characters, but I get where they're coming from, because it works thematically with what they're trying to achieve. Now, that might bring us to maybe the weakest point of the game, which is the combat. The combat in the game is not good at all. In fact, it holds the game back from being great. Like, I loved every other aspect about the game, from the setting to the story, the characters, to the atmosphere. This game bleeds atmosphere through and through, but it was truly combat that kind of kept it from being great. But before I talk about the combat, I want to mention this one cool thing. So you have these things called a recycler and a fabricator. And anything you find in the game, junk, food, weapons, or whatever, you can throw them into this fabricator, this recycler, right? And then anything you don't want to use, you'll get these minerals that you can then recycle. This is one of the more interesting concepts I've never seen in the game before. You recycle all that stuff and you'll get these minerals, right? You get the minerals, and you can bring them over to the fabricator here, and you can basically make whatever you feel like. You want to make a neuromod, shotgun cells, whatever, and you can, as long as you have the materials to do it, but you can do it. Now, what holds the game back is the combat. It is not fun. It is very unwieldy, especially not being able to aim down sights against the faster enemies. I almost feel like the glue gun was created to slow down the mimics so you could use your gun against them, because it's just not fun to fight the enemies. And that's one of the common complaints I've heard from a lot of different people out there, is that the combat is not fun, and that is true. The combat holds the game back immensely, but still, even with the combat holding the game back, I still feel like this is a great and fantastic game. Even with that one kind of major aspect holding it back, I really enjoyed my time with Prey, and I would give it an 8.5. Truly, I mean, I could not stop playing the game. Searched like every possible area I could search, and I really just enjoyed it. It's just that the combat was a little bit better. This could have been one of the greats. It could have been one of the greats, but alas, we're left with a really good, really good game. Hopefully they make a sequel down the road. I would love to see them revisit the game with some better combat. But yeah, that's my review of the game, guys. I definitely recommend it if you like immersive sims. On the vein of Bioshock, Deus Ex, I think there's a lot here for you to enjoy. I enjoyed it. 8.5. Held back by the combat, but everything else about the game is utterly fantastic. So, see you later, guys.